What's going on, guys? As you may know, it's been a bit of a rough streak on the channel.
There's so
But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to be talking about UFC 328 this Saturday. A lot of good fights on here. A lot of good fights for me to predict correct. We are going 5 for 5 on the main card. I'll probably look at the prelims, but I'm not taking them as seriously. For the main card, I've been looking into the fights and making my predictions, so I'm just going to get into it right now. Starting with the main event, Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. Look, you know, I think best case scenario here, Sean Strickland makes it a fun fight. Like, he actually makes Khamzat have to work for everything, or makes Khamzat have to submit him. Because here's what I see is going to be different in this fight than the Dricus fight. I think Sean will be better at making Khamzat work than Dricus, because Dricus was able to let Khamzat get to the mounted crucifix, side control, just keep the body lock. He wouldn't let him submit him, but I think Sean Strickland will be a little bit more willing to take risks to get up, like post to his fours or use the cage to try to climb back up, try to stand better, and I think he will have a better understanding of defensive wrestling than Dricus did. It's kind of a double-edged sword because, for one, it'll make Khamzat have to work more, which will get Khamzat more tired, which gives Strickland more of a chance to win in the end, because Khamzat is pretty much guaranteed to win that first round no matter what. Even as good of a wrestler as Usman was, it was still pretty much a 10-8 round from Khamzat when they fought. There's just no way he's going to be able to stop Khamzat from getting in early and getting him down early. But I just think best case, Sean will be able to make Khamzat work more and get to his feet more, and maybe start having success in the later rounds, because we have seen Khamzat get tired. We saw Dricus in the 5th round finally have some success, because he didn't make Khamzat work as much as Gilbert Burns and Usman did to get as much success as them. Strickland goes to a more traditional wrestling defense that kind of leaves him open to Khamzat's really good Darce. He used to get everyone with that, and it's just a really good submission of his, and it works really good from that front headlock position when people are trying to wrestle up in a traditional way and not playing the kind of guard game Dricus was. I mean, Dricus was working to get up, but he just never really could. He just was 5 steps behind Khamzat the whole time, and I still think Sean's going to be 1 step behind him. There's just no way he's going to be able to. Like, I called Khamzat by decision last time against Dricus. I felt pretty smart for that because everyone was saying sub, but I knew Dricus was tough enough to not get subbed, but I felt like Khamzat would still at least win like 3 rounds with the grappling, and he ended up winning all 5. And I think this time I'm going to call Khamzat sub, because I think it will be a higher paced fight. They will be working more. But I think in the chaos and in the scrambles, Khamzat's going to be able to lock up a Darce or an Anaconda. And yeah, I think Sean will be more submittable. Maybe even a rear naked choke. I think Sean's going to be more submittable than Dricus, but I do think he's going to be a better defensive wrestler than Dricus. So that's what I'm thinking right now. Moving on, what I really want to talk about, Joshua Van versus Tatsuro Taira. We are defending our belts against Tatsuro Taira. Yes, it seems like picking my favorite fighters has been a bit of a curse recently. But I'm going to be picking Joshua Van to win, because I think Taira is a little overrated, okay? Taira is extremely good. He's going to be a lot bigger than Van, frame-wise. But there's just something about the way Taira strikes. He's just a little awkward with it, like especially in that Brandon Royval fight. I know different builds and styles make different fights, but Brandon Royval was really testing Taira. That was about a year and a half ago, so obviously Taira has been improving. But the rounds where he did get Royval's back, it was bad, and it does scare me that he could get that body lock on Joshua Van and sub him. But I also think Joshua Van is a bit shorter and stronger than Royval, so he'll be better at sprawling and defending initially, but maybe he won't be as good in the jiu-jitsu department as Royval was. But I also think in the striking, it will be mostly all Joshua Van, especially if he gets on that pressure early and starts working the body, because Joshua Van's slick. Everyone seems to forget. Everyone started to switch up on my boy after he beat Pantoja in the most legitimate, non-fluky way. But, bro, is it just me? Or did all these Pantoja fans come out of nowhere? Like, I swear before the Joshua Van fight, Pantoja had fans. The hardcores were trying to respect him and saying he should be up there in the pound for pound. But After he broke his arm, I swear everyone just started switching up on Joshua Van because he was celebrating and started glazing Pantoja, acting like Pantoja was just gonna completely destroy Van, and now Tyra's just gonna completely destroy Van. Van's good. Like, yes, he's young. Yes, he doesn't have as much experience. Tyra's also young. And I just think in this matchup, it's probably going to end up being a decision because they're both tough. If anything, Joshua Van could get a later TKO because Royval was super close to TKOing Taira in the third round. If that was Joshua Van in there with Taira that night, working him the way Royval does, then Joshua Van would have finished Taira because Joshua Van has significantly more power than Royval. We saw that in the Joshua Van versus Royval fight that Joshua Van was. That was the reason. They were both landing on each other, but Van just clearly had more power, which is why the more significant strikes were leaning Van. But this fight is super close. I'm not trying to write off Taira like I'm some casual. I think this is a better fight for Van than someone like Manel Kape. I've had that opinion for a while because Manel Kape is super dangerous in the striking, and Van is the type of guy to take a hit to land a hit, land a few hits, but still, it does scare me. It does scare me, especially because we've seen the grappler time and time again do this, and Taira looked really good against Brandon Moreno, but I just think Van is tougher than most of the guys Taira's faced, and I think he's going to be ready. You know, obviously we're predicting the future. No one knows. Van could just get subbed in the first round, but based on what I've seen, I watched their last few fights, I think Van is going to be good enough to win probably a decision or a late round TKO against Taira after Taira gets tired because Taira isn't a Marab. He's not going to be able to just shoot nonstop. If he gets a couple takedowns stuffed and he's getting worked in the striking, the momentum's going to be leaning Joshua Van. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think Joshua Van's going to win a close fight or maybe TKO him. Moving on, Alexander Volkov versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. I think it would be cool to see Waldo win and just get a fresh new contender in the top 3 of the division. But I think Volkov is really good. Volkov legitimately beat Gon 2 fights ago. Like, it's just not disputed. I remember I had people over for that fight, the Gon versus Volkov fight. And when they announced Gon as the winner, even I had a couple friends who had like never watched UFC before. And even they were like, wait, how did that guy win? Because the rounds were just clear. Like, it wasn't like every round was close. It was just up to the judges. Like, no. Gon clearly won 1 round, and then Volkov clearly won 2 rounds. And Aspinall kind of destroyed Volkov, but I think styles make fights. I think these guys are both strikers. He's not going to get taken down the way Aspinall took him down, and I think he's just going to use his range well. And I think this is just a good fight for Volkov to win. He just beat Almeida. I mean, I thought he low-key deserved to win just based off doing more, even though he was on bottom position for most of the fight. Almeida is like the worst example of a grappler who doesn't do anything with top control. Like, legitimately nothing. Like, he'll be in the guard for like 5 minutes straight and he'll throw baby punches to the body. Like, I don't know what is he even trying to do? Like, and then he gets surprised that he gets robbed, quote unquote. Like, I don't know. I think Volkov's good. I think this is a good stylistic matchup for Volkov, but I do think it would be cool to see Waldo make it to the top 3. Sean Brady versus Joaquin Buckley. This fight has had me some of the most confused out of any of the other ones because I think the perfect way to explain it is that they've both lost in a dominant way that the other opponent in this fight could do to them again. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sean Brady just got KO'd by Michael Morales, big power puncher. Joaquin Buckley is a big dude, power puncher. He doesn't have the frame as Morales, but he does have really good power, and he's obviously really stocky, but so is Brady. And Joaquin Buckley just got dominated by Usman in the grappling. Literally looked like he was just levels behind him in the grappling. And Sean Brady's a really good grappler, dude. He beat Craig Jones in a grappling match. I mean, it was kind of like a stally type of way. It wasn't like a submission. I think it was like a decision or something. She was in top position. But, yeah, it wasn't like a very entertaining thing. But he beat Craig Jones in a grappling match. Like, Craig Jones is, top 2. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know too much about grappling. I don't want to say all that. Obviously, I know Gordon Ryan's the best and Craig Jones is up there, but that's still very impressive. But Obviously, it's not a jiu-jitsu match. It's MMA, and Sean Brady has shown that his striking is kind of awkward. He just doesn't have the same type of finesse or flow as other guys. He got TKO'd by Bilal Muhammad. Let's just keep it real. But I don't know. I have a feeling Sean Brady's gonna be able to get Buckley down, but I also have a feeling Buckley's gonna catch Brady. And man, especially when I look at their records, it really makes me want to lean Brady more because obviously he's 18-2, Buckley's 21-7. But if I had to pick, I'm gonna be going with Joaquin Buckley to TKO Sean Brady. I think Sean Brady's the favorite, so I'm picking the underdog here. But I think even if Brady does get Buckley down, I think Buckley will be good enough to not get submitted by him. I mean, I could maybe see like a Brady Kimura. No, because Buckley, he's fighting a strong dude. He's fighting a short, strong, stocky fighter as well. It's not going to be easy for Brady to do this. And yeah, I can see Brady getting some takedowns. Maybe even not walking Buckley not being able to get up for the rest of the round. But I think Buckley knows what he needs to do. He needs to be aggressive. He needs to put together the shots that'll hurt Brady. And I think Brady is just a little more awkward on the feet than Buckley is bad in the grappling, personally. That's my opinion of the fight. I think Buckley's going to get it done by TKO. But I wouldn't be surprised if Brady can just ragdoll him the way Usman did. Moving on, last fight of the main card, King Green versus Jeremy Stephens. I just saw the odds. It makes sense. I was going to pick King Green because he's just been looking really good recently. Obviously, this is a unk battle. It's probably going to be a sick finish either way. But the way he just schooled Daniel Zellhuber, couldn't think of his name, was actually insane. Obviously, Daniel Zellhuber lost to Michael Johnson before that. He's kind of shown that he's not really at that level of a prospect, but I don't know, man. Obviously, King Green's been finished a lot recently too by Rufy and Patty, but that's the thing. Patty just fought for the interim belt undeservingly, and Rufy's about to fight Michael Chandler. So, these guys are cream of the crop. So, those losses aren't too bad. And Jeremy Stephens, the hardest hitting 145er, Mr. Who. And I don't know. I just think King Green's going to be a little bit more slick on the feet. King Green is super chinny, though. If Jeremy Stephens does land like a big right hand, it's going to be night-night for King Green. But I can see King Green pulling off a nice, slick performance on Jeremy Stephens. I just got flashbacks to the Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson fight. Did I just run out of internet? What? Oh. I just got flashbacks to the Michael Johnson-Drew Dober fight. And it's kind of reminding me of this, obviously. I mean, skin tone-wise, you can see a little resemblance. But besides that, like Michael Johnson and King Green being more slick and elusive on the feet, but Jeremy Stephens and Drew Dober having more of that one-punch KO power. It kind of makes things interesting. But I'm going to go with King Green just based off of his recent experience and looking better in his recent fights. Jeremy Stephens been over in BKFC. I don't know. I think King Green wins this. So, yeah, those are going to be my main card picks. I got Khamzat Chimaev by submission and Joshua Van by decision. I got Volkov, I think maybe by decision. I don't know if he'll finish Costa, even though it's heavyweight. We've seen a lot of these heavyweight fights go to decision lately. I think he'll just kind of mostly keep it on the long range to beat him. Low kicks, teeps, jabs. Yeah. But, yeah, that's what I'm going to say Volkov decision. I'm going to say Buckley by TKO. And then I'm going to say King Green by TKO. I think King Green will overwhelm Jeremy Stephens with strikes. Unless he obviously gets just chinned bad. But, yeah, that's what I'm going to say for that. Let's look at the prelims a little bit. Tobe Gautier is going to knock out Ozzy Diaz. These odds, bro. Like, I swear they do this all the time. They always just have some giant favorite at the end of the prelims because they're hoping they can get, like, some really nice finish to end it off. And then half the time it doesn't work. But they're just feeding Tobe Gautier again.